diversity and therefore, getting more women into the construction industry, that's where innovation comes from.
Yeah.
The more diverse we can be as an industry, the more innovative we'll be. And that's what we want to try and drive.
G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. Really exciting one today. Got an awesome young guy here to tell you about what he's doing to rapidly evolve the construction industry. So pretty excited to have a chat. But thanks for coming on board. Level Up is a podcast that is creating a new building industry. So give a big warm welcome to Luke Williams, Hazardco.
Thanks very much, Duayne. It's good to be here. Lovely to be involved and looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah, no, cheers, mate. So you just flew up here this morning from Melbourne.
I did, yeah. Flew up from Melbourne this morning, got in pretty early and hit the ground running.
Mate, tell us a little bit about, I love your LinkedIn, your bio. That's pretty much what it says, is you're teaming up with industry leaders to rapidly evolve the construction industry. So you've obviously got a passion. You can see that the industry's a bit broken, a bit old-fashioned. So where's the passion for that come from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have a passion for it. My brother's a chippy, does some building work as well. My dad's been in construction on and off. My family, a long time ago, were in the hardware industry. So I've always had an affinity with the construction industry, but in particular with small business. Yeah. And I think over the years, I've had different roles in the industry that have seen me deal with the biggest players in the industry. All the way down to the smallest players in the industry. And there's a real opportunity, particularly in residential construction, to drag the industry into the future, to rapidly evolve it, by giving business owners the tools and the knowledge and the ability to run better businesses, for them, for the people that work for them, for the customers that they're serving, to modernise, to digitise. You hear this all this about up. The construction industry is the one or two of the slowest industries in the world to digitise. So that opportunity is huge. We have the technology now. We've got a new breed of builder. We've got a new generation of builder who want to do everything they can.
It's one of those things, isn't it? If you don't get onto it, you're going to get left behind.
Absolutely.
It feels like the last few years, it is really starting. Even some of the old school builders, they all are starting to get on board with apps and software.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was a couple of years ago, actually, I was up in Brisbane. I was at an industry golf day. And my background is in sales, so you've always kind of got that hat on when you're talking to people. Anyway, I got partnered with a few people. One of them was an older builder, mid-60s, and I'm here to talk about a digital technology solution. I just think, far out. How's your luck? I reckon we're on hole 4 in the same buggy, and he was like, "Absolutely, this is what we need. Everything's going digital." I thought he gets it. But
he was only saying that because he was about to retire and he didn't have to deal with it.
Exactly, his son's problem, right? Yeah. But no, I mean that's the reality of the industry, and I think it's up to people like you and me to make sure that we do as much as we can to make it happen as quickly as possible in the right way.
No, that's all fantastic. As you know, we saw an opportunity and we got our business quotes, helps builders and all sorts of traders with their quoting and estimating and stuff. But I just love talking to you about Hazardco, where it's come from, because the guys that developed Hazardco, they're tradies, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of tradies out of New Zealand. So 14, 15 years ago, as the story goes, they were kind of having a laugh as tradies, as we all do, about the fact that their brethren in commercial construction had a list as long as their arm of all the things that they had to do from a safety point of view and risk management and compliance. And, how lucky is it that they don't have to do any of that in residential? Yeah. And as they're chuckling away, they have this light bulb moment of, actually, surely that can't be right. Yeah. And they were, they realised that residential have the same, rules and regs and requirements and responsibilities as any construction project. And so they went about trying to make businesses or make sites safer to start off with, and now what we're trying to do is make businesses safer.
Yeah, mate, I think it's fantastic, and we've jumped on board with it. We're giving it a crack. When it's I was actually blown away. I think I said to you, we were using another sort of industry association, their online portal and stuff, and I thought we had it all teed up, and then Michael come in and gave us a demo, and we're like, well, my wife Camille that does all the admin stuff, like she's like, this is awesome. We got to jump on it. I think we signed up on the spot, and then we've recently signed up our first job and got the team on board, and then it's so easy to use.
It's so easy, and that's the key, right? So, what we would call effective simplicity. You need two things from anything that you're going to do in your business. You need it to be effective, and you need it to be simple.
Yeah.
The more simple it is, the more people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And the more effective it is, the better it is for the business, right?
Because you guys are obviously nailed it, because your numbers speak for themselves, really. Like what do you got, over 10,000 people now?
Yeah, 10,000 businesses. So we've got over 10,000 businesses across Australia and New Zealand. A really good split of builders, so small to medium construction businesses and trades businesses, plumbers, electricians, HVAC, carpenters, all that sort of stuff. And just, looking for a way, like you, when you first saw it, it's that moment of, oh, wow, it can be that easy. Like I can do all of that just that easy. Putting time back into people's lives. If we can give them an hour a day back to work on their business, to spend with their kids, whatever they want to use that hour on, that's what we want to do.
And I think this year's especially has really highlighted, obviously the last couple of years we've dealt with COVID, and then this year, the industry just kept growing and growing, and everybody is under the pump. Doesn't matter who you talk to. And I think we've seen it, and with the other business, Live Like Build, where we help builders out, we're definitely seeing it with those members. It does feel a little bit like a lot of the contractors and subbies are dropping the ball here and there, but when you think about how busy they are,
absolutely,
and these guys are generally, I know all our subbies, most of them don't have admin staff. They're on the tools themselves of a day, and they're trying to smash out the admin stuff of a night time. So having tools like Hazardco that they can basically just jump on their phone and put in a job address and put a few little details in, and it's done.
It's done. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that's the thing, most of it's a time thing and it's a confidence thing. So what do we not do as humans? We don't do the stuff that we're not confident we can do, right? We just stay away from it. It's like New South Wales playing rugby league, they surely they try to stay away from it. No, I've just offended half your listeners. But no, that's the thing. So from a Hazardco point of view, we put the content in the platform for that exact reason. You don't expect a plumber or a builder or someone else to have to be a health and safety expert. We want to be that expert for them, but make it easy for them to put it out there on their sites.
And it's not just the app, is it? Your support is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, that's something that a lot of our members across Australia and New Zealand would say is the biggest value add for them is the peace of mind that comes from having someone on the other end of the phone. Yeah. So fully qualified health and safety professional that you can call up and ask, question. Chippy's building an internal staircase. How far down do I bring the two handrails while I'm building it? Fall protection or void protection, or or even more importantly, when an incident happens, 24/7 incident support. Doesn't matter how experienced you are. When something goes down on a construction site, it's such a high pressure, high stress environment that being able to take a breath and have someone talk you through. Take a photo of this, ask this question, don't tell this.
I think a lot of people probably overlook the importance of. I know I did for a long time. It might be the smallest incident, but it's still an incident. And
absolutely, yeah.
There's people that there's time involved and documents, and I know we struggle to get reports out of our guys when something does go wrong, but I think a lot of people don't realise, and especially the guys on site that we're hassling to try and do these reports. You might not think anything of it then, but that small incident could possibly cause issues for someone down the track.
Absolutely.
That then comes back as a lawsuit.
100%.
In 1 year, 2 years, 3 years time. That incident report could save your business.
Exactly right. Someone slips off a ladder and, they say, they hit the ground, they go, no, I'm fine, I'm all good. But then whatever in their life might change, or however they view that situation 2 years later, all of a sudden it's my back's stuffed because I fell off a ladder on your site 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you've thought nothing of it, but they've made a note in their diary or told someone, and they've got a reference to a date or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're fighting a legal battle or paying work cover or doing something.
Yeah.
But it's mate, I think it's unreal. So what sort of other businesses you're partnering with, or to people you're talking to help evolve the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do some work, obviously, with you guys. with Live Life Build, we're looking for businesses that are on the same page as us. So one thing that I've always felt strongly about with a partnership, and particularly when we were getting Hazardco started in Australia a few years ago, was, there's coaching businesses. There's probably more coaching businesses than there are businesses, right? When you start to look at the industry, and industry associations, there's other software businesses. There's buying groups, there's trade merchants. What we're looking for, and the people that we tend to partner with, are people that are on the same wavelength as us. It's not about, can I get a better deal to Metricon, or it's about how do we help the small builder, the small business, the person doing 5 jobs a year, got 2 or 3 employees. Are they trying to, grow their bottom line or grow the builder's bottom line? And for us, our subscription cost is actually super cheap. Yeah. It's not because we don't want to make money. Sure, we want to employ people and run a great business. But what we want to do is make it super accessible for people to be able to improve their business. Yeah. To take the complexity out of business, and that's exactly what we're looking for in partners. Mate,
it's so awesome to hear you say that, because one thing I've learned a lot over the last few years, with people wanting to collaborate, especially with Live Life Build. And I sort of maybe was a bit naive about this, but a lot of the big companies, they don't want to deal with us small guys, because they'd rather go to the bigger guys and do a deal with one of them that takes care of 1,000 or 2,000 homes than have to come to 500 of us that do 2 homes a year.
Exactly.
So to hear that you're really supporting the small guys is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's exactly where we've chosen to stay. So a lot of businesses, particularly software businesses, can get dragged into all parts of, whatever their target markets were to start off with, changes very rapidly over time. We've made a conscious decision to stay in small to medium residential construction. It gives us a really good focus, not only for our product, but also for what we're trying to do in the industry. Yeah. I get your point around, it's easy to do a deal that gets you, 2,000 houses of plasterboard. That's part of my background. Than it is to find, 2,000 single houses, right? Yeah. However, I think we can see at the moment, the future of our industry is the small builder. Yeah. It's the person doing 2, 3, 4 homes a year. It's the person that, a big building company employs a lot of people, but a lot of small businesses employ even more people.
And mate, you're singing from the same sheet. It's so awesome. But I think, obviously my passion comes from, I've been there. I was the guy that was struggling and stuff. And the thing there's so many things that drive me now to help the industry and tradies and builders. But probably one of those things is that if I can help small tradies and small builders improve a tiny bit, if I can improve and they go from, every small builder goes from doing 1 or 2 jobs a year to 3 or 4 jobs a year, all of it, we're already, when you combine us, we're already bigger than the volume builders.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So if I can get every small business running better business, using Hazardco, using all these tools that are giving them their time back to enjoy their life, and in the meantime, they can increase their business, make some more profit, and have earn the money that a tradie should be earning.
Yeah, absolutely.
The industry can basically double.
Exactly. It can double off the back of small businesses just getting better, right? Yeah. 100%. And it's really exciting to think about. And
that's better for everyone.
100% it's better for everyone. It's better for the whole industry. Yeah. And hopefully, some of the bigger suppliers in the industry will get around it and see it and start to focus on it.
I get what they do. You can, it takes a lot of staff to look after a lot of small builders.
It does. Yeah.
I think I was saying to you, we did that survey 2 years ago now, and the numbers, the numbers don't lie. When we separated small residential construction, it was a bit over $76 billion in Australia. But when you take out the large volume builders, small builders doing 1 to 3 jobs a year actually were doing $6 billion more work than what the volume builders were. Yeah. So it just shows you that when you combine all of us small guys, we're a bit of a force to be reckoned with. But I think, I don't know, we all like the media just keep focusing on the bigger guys, and I think all our small guys just sort of sit back and go, oh well, we'll just sit back, we'll do what we can.
We're just making up the numbers, sort of.
Yeah, making up the numbers.
Yeah.
But it is so awesome to see companies and well, not just companies, but blokes like yourself. Like I was when I first met you, I was just so like you seem very energetic and passionate. Like you just want to change the world, which is awesome, because that's the sort of mission that I'm on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when we did first meet, I remember chatting to you and just, back and forth, and I think the time was ticking by faster than either of us realised, because we're on the same mission.
So like before, so obviously you've been in the industry a long time. Like what you've played some pretty big roles in other businesses before Hazardco, so you've obviously seen all different types and parts of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like what led you to Hazardco?
That's a very good question. I was just talking to someone about this afternoon. Actually, Hazardco's grown so quickly in the last 3.5, 4 years in Australia that we've recruited a lot of people, which has meant a lot of interviews, and a lot of interviews are two-sided, as they should be, and a lot of people asking, why Hazardco? So I've talked about this probably more than I should have, but my background is in building materials, building products. So went to uni, came out of uni, fell into sales. And kind of it all went from there. But most recently, so been a part of Hazardco's journey for 3.5, 4 years now. Great New Zealand business. We're doing terrific things, and they were looking to come to Australia. And we're looking at how they would do market entry and what it would look like. We had some good customers that were keen to use Hazardco to pilot it out in Australia originally.
So you were with them before they come here?
So I came on board as they were entering the Australian market. So I was the first Hazardco person on the ground over here, and working with our first core group of customers. So we had a couple of independent builders from Sydney, and a few franchise builders from Victoria that were keen to use the product. And anyway, so someone gave me a call and said, hey, you want to catch up, have a chat about this little business called Hazardco? And I'd just got back from Canada. I'd spent some time over there skiing. I was lucky enough to, to spend a bit of time over there and do a few things. And they were telling me about Hazardco, and I thought, great business, sounds good. I'm sure you won't have any trouble finding someone to help set that up. And they were like, what do you mean? We're talking to you about that. I was like, oh, no, thanks. It just wasn't where my mind was at in terms of getting back into the construction business, but health and safety, technology, all that sort of thing. Anyway, lucky enough for me, they came back, a few weeks later and said, oh, have you had to think about it? And I said, well, no, I haven't, because I told you that I wasn't interested. And then I was lucky enough that a guy by the name of Ian Dixon, who's our group CEO, came over to Melbourne. And caught up with me for a coffee for half an hour. That, much like the first time I met you, went for about an hour and a half, and I just got it. It clicked. I realised what he was about, what he was trying to do, what Hazardco was about, and couldn't come on board fast enough. And so here I am.
Mate, that is an awesome story. Like, it just goes to show it's what you put out. Like you're obviously you're a very energetic, passionate person, and they picked up on that and chased you for it. And same way, I picked up on that with Ian and with what the business was trying to do, and I think I can see a lot of that in Live Life Build, and what you do and the interactions you have with builders as well is you do get, I've thought this from a very young age when I was at boarding school. You literally get out of anything what you put into it, right? But that comes the other way as well. And when that's matched, then that's where the magic happens. Oh, mate, it's so awesome to hear, and I think that'll be really valuable information for the guys and girls that listen, because like if you're chin down, dragging your feet around, kicking the dust, like that's going to reflect on your life, your business, your bank account.
Nothing's going to change if you don't change, right?
Yeah. Oh, mate, so awesome. But so then it's obviously snowballed from there. Like 3.5, 4 years, like you're smashing it.
Yeah, it's kind of gone gangbusters. So we've got nearly 30 people now. Where we've got people up here in Queensland, we've got people in New South Wales, WA, and then our Australian head office now.
Yeah.
We've got our own little office, which is exciting. It started in my garage, and so now we've got our own office in Melbourne, and and the future's looking pretty good.
That is so awesome. And look, I think it's got so much potential because that, like we've touched on, if you don't catch up with technology and not just technology, but things that are going to make not just your business better and your life easier, like get your time back. Like ultimately, like that's what we're all after, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to be like, especially tradies and builders, like we love our trade, we love what we do, but all that business stuff, admin stuff, like that's generally the stuff that makes you lose your passion.
Oh, 100%. And, you see tradies and builders working themselves into the ground just to get the next job, to finish the next job, to quote the next job. But ultimately, what you really want is the time so you can choose what you do.
Yeah.
Choose to put it back into your business. Great.
Yeah.
If you want to be, 3 times the size business than you are, then create the time to be able to become 3 times the business you are.
Yeah.
If you're happy with how big you are and you want to spend more time with your kids or, go on more holidays or, me, I want to go skiing, you need time to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's about identifying how to create that time to give yourself the ability to choose what to do with it.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. The, like it's funny because so many people don't see that. And like even like one thing I really like about Hazardco, and I actually didn't know this until we caught up with Red, but like something we did with Quoties was it wasn't just about saving time, making life easier, producing great proposals and all those types of things, but it was about presenting a final document that made your business look professional. And one thing I really love with Hazardco is the site signs.
Yep.
Like, because for me, like, I don't know your thoughts, but like for me, if I was a client that was potentially thinking about building or renovating or not even that, like I've realized now, like people can see a sign or something years before they think they're going to build.
Oh, absolutely.
And something just clicks and they go, oh, remember that site we drove past? It was clean, tidy, it had good signage.
Yep. They must be a good builder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all about looking more professional, isn't it? Like, I think the fact that you've got your software and you make all that part of it easy, but then you go to the trouble of actually doing a site-specific sign. Yeah. It just makes that builder look so much more professional.
It does, right? And it means that they, it's interesting. Perception counts for a lot of things, right? And so the perception of a client driving past or a potential client, which is really what we're talking about, driving past and seeing that and just subliminally connecting the dots, that's a good builder, that's a professional builder. They've kind of ticked all the boxes. They're doing what they need to do. And that's a lot of the time what we find with the builders that we're talking to, but particularly the ones that come to us. So as with any business, there's people that come inbound and then there's people that you talk to outbound. Particularly the builders that come and talk to us are either super professional or wanting to be super professional. And remember, we deal with the small builders, right?
Yeah.
So our average customer builds 3 or 4 houses a year.
Yeah.
They're super professional or they want to be super professional because you think about as a builder and you would know, like you're going through the list of things that you need to do from your business's point of view. It's like, I need to do some quotes to win some work. I need to go, through that. So you go quotes, I need that, right? Great, excellent. Some project management. Yep, I need to do that. By the time you get to, I can digitize my health and safety, you've ticked a lot of boxes already. So you're running a good business or you're interested in running a better business, which gives us the ability to learn a lot about what good business looks like. And that then just gets me even more excited about, wanting other businesses to look like that as well.
Yeah, I think it ticks so many boxes. But so like your background with the industry, like the companies that you've worked for in the industry, like you would have seen and heard a lot of stories and like that would be helping you now with like your passion for Hazardco.
Yeah, absolutely. And business owners, because it is about home builders, but it's about tradies, it's about the industry in general, and it's about business owners in the industry, right? So some of the roles that I've had, big and small, at some big and small businesses, have given me the ability to see all sorts of businesses on both sides of the equation. So suppliers, distributors, wholesale building product manufacturers, small builders, tradies. I've had, in some of my roles, I've dealt with everyone from the plasterer or the hangers, putting it on the wall, all the way through to, the Metricons and Simmons and Plantations of the world.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the supplier side, you see at the end of the day, there's just a whole heap of business owners trying to get by and trying to run a better business.
Yeah.
But it seems, or at least up until recently, it seemed very much that everything in terms of business improvement was engineered to be directed towards the top end of town.
Yeah.
Software solutions. Software solutions that are $100,000 a year, and
everything's focused on the big players, mate. Like the rules, the regulations, the way we run our businesses, a whole lot. But mate, something that's just clicked into my mind, and I'm this could be a business idea if you don't do it already, maybe. But Live Like Build's in a position now where we have this pack process which we call pack train. You get paid as a professional or paid as a consultant. But from that, and just from our members in Live Like Build, Amelia and I get contacted now by homeowners saying, how do we find a Live Like Builder? And so that's led on to, we're currently working through, we've actually created certification. So all of our members, once they've been with us for 12 months, will become certified.
Yep.
So I'm just sitting here thinking, I see that working for you. Do you get contact? Do you have a database where a homeowner could ring you? Because you get all types of people in this world, and I'm sure there's people out there that would be thinking, I want a safe builder.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we encourage all of our members, and this happened to me not that long ago when I was looking at building a house, and it's normally the smaller builders, custom builders. There's a line item on there that says, health and safety, risk management, whatever they put it down as. To me, that's a sign of not only a professional builder, but as a consumer, as someone that's looking to buy a house, that says, oh, this is a good builder, right? Yeah. So whether I hear some story in the news about someone going bankrupt because they ran out of money or they had an incident on their site or whatever, something serious happened, well, surely that's not going to happen to my builder. He's got his stuff sorted. And so it is a perception. We get a little bit of that in New Zealand. So we've been there for a lot longer. We've got a brand name there. When people think health and safety for residential construction, they think Hazardco. I have no doubt we'll get there in Australia. But that kind of demand side, the consumer saying, I'm looking for someone who I know is running a good business, I can absolutely make sense from a Live Life Build point of view. We do get it from a trade to builder point of view. Yeah. So our pre-qualification contractor management software that enables us to have a database of, subcontractors that have got, great qualifications, they do good work, they've got their health and safety ducks in a row, all that sort of stuff.
Because we're talking a lot about builders, but obviously Hazardco is across the board. It's carpenters, tilers, plumbers, they can all have so they can sign up to you guys and have all their stuff sorted out, so then they can provide that to a builder. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And provide it to a builder, or service trades can provide it to
homeowner.
Mum and dad, the homeowner, shopping centre management, wherever they're doing their work. Right. They can do all of that. And so you get to this point where there's an industry standard of what a good builder looks like. They're pack trained. They have their health and safety sorted. They do a bunch of other things, and that's where we should be headed as an industry, right? We should be wanting to 100%.
Get there. So, mate, what's the like you said, your brot's in the industry. Is he on Hazardco?
Yeah. So he does a few things on the app. So he's a chippy. And so, he's just like any other chippy. He needs a bit of a nudge to keep up to date with things. But being able to log an incident near miss, he smashed his thumb the other day, just being able to cover your bases and do it really easily. Yeah. It's probably my fault because, I say it's efficiency, but it's probably laziness. Talk to text. Yeah. So I showed him how to use the app with talk to text. So now he just talk to text everything. don't know whether he does everything as he should, but he definitely uses it. My sister's boyfriend's a builder. He's on board as well. So got to get the family involved, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, mate, definitely. So, apart from Hazardco, you're obviously very personally driven as well to help the industry. So, is there other stuff that you're doing to create a difference?
Yeah. So, at the moment, I'm really focused on trying to get involved in in spreading the message, not necessarily about Hazardco. A few things I've done recently, don't need to even talk about Hazardco. Let's just talk about better business in the industry. But getting involved, particularly around mental health at the moment. So we've been doing some stuff actually with some people that down in Victoria around mental health, around giving a forum for builders to come together. You can have all of these expos and trade shows, and builders are either of the mentality that they're in and out because there's something that they need to do there or they want to do there, or they're turning up expecting that there's going to be a bunch of suppliers that just want to sell them more stuff.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a couple of events lately that are really about just creating a space for builders to come and hang out.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a few suppliers there, but there's no talks, there's no presentations, there's just a bunch of people hanging out, having a beer.
It looks like they've been going pretty good. So I can't remember what you're calling that, but that's part of Beck Bishop's thing down there,
so we did one with Beck Bishop, absolutely. Yeah. So we did a lawn bowls one with Beck, and then we've done a couple of ones that we've called Better Builder Tools.
Yeah.
And we're doing... so personally, I've been doing some stuff with Mitre 10 and with Reese around education and awareness. Yeah. So I was talking to Reese a little while ago about, they were talking about plumbers and in particular, but what can we do in the plumbing space? And I said, well, what we really need to do is just talk to them about what they should be doing and what they need to be doing, and let's talk to them about awareness. Let's talk to them about education, and see what comes of it.
Isn't it unbelievable just how beneficial it is just to get people in an environment where they feel comfortable and just talking?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be all about business, but just talking about life, products they're using, issues they're having. Like it's an important thing, and it's probably something that our industry and I guess our industry is full of blokes. So
for the most part it is.
And it's good to see a lot of females coming into it, but it's just the way that it's been, hasn't it, for a long time?
It has been, yeah.
And just to see blokes like yourself and people like Beck just doing those things and pulling people together, in a chilled out environment.
No, absolutely. Last year it was this year, but the last one at Sydney Build, I got the opportunity to be a diversity ambassador, and then I've just been invited to go back next year as a women in construction ambassador. And I think, I sent them something to put on. They needed something for my bio. And I sent them something that was literally just typing a note as I was running out of the house. But basically it was that diversity and therefore, getting more women into the construction industry, that's where innovation comes from.
Yeah.
The more diverse we can be as an industry, the more innovative we'll be. And that's what we want to try and drive, right? We want to try and drive a more innovative industry. And I think it was something that you said to me actually the first time we met, but just before it triggered in my mind, because you're talking about people walking around, chin down, dragging their feet. But that space for people to come and chat to each other, sometimes it's important just for them to realize that they're not alone, right? Yeah. And that's something that I took away from the first chat that I had to you, is that it takes that moment of connection where they can empathize with someone else and just go, oh, that's what happened to me. That is that moment to go, actually, it doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah. Well, mate, it's a big part of why we do this podcast, to not only just to create a new industry, but just to show people that it's okay. It's okay when we're not all geared up to run incredible businesses off the bat. Everyone's got to learn, and it's okay absolutely to make mistakes. And we all go through struggles. It's how I guess you deal with them. But I think, and I think I said to you, the reason everything I'm doing is where it's at now is because of that. From the very first seminar I did, literally having blokes crying,
hugging, one of those guys,
and realizing in that moment that they're not dealing with this on their own. They're not the only builder or the only tradie that is struggling with things, that doesn't have good cash flow, that is having issues with their contracts, all those types of things. But we all go through it. It's a hard industry, and
absolutely,
I think a lot of where that probably comes from is I know this is where it comes from. Tradies tend to be we don't like sitting in the classroom. We want to get out of school. We don't even when it comes to your apprenticeship, you don't want to go to TAFE and all those types of things. You just want to be on site, whether it's digging trenches, laying pipe, laying tiles, swinging a hammer, whatever it is. But we just want to be doing something. But you cannot run a business without the other side of it.
Without doing the other stuff. Yeah,
And that's, like I said before, that's where most of us fall over. And it is so good to have things and guys putting things on where you can go, if you want to have a quiet beer, chat to other people in the same situation.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's unbelievable how easily and quickly you can turn around from a 5-minute conversation with someone and just seeing that, fuck, it's not just me.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, right? It's perspective that leads people to then realize that there's got to be a solution. So, you know, I'm not the only one that's going through it. Oh, man, that feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good that other people are in a shitty situation as well, but good that I'm not the only one that's dealing with this problem. But then if that's the case, there's got to be a solution, right? There's got to be a way through this because all of us have got to make it out the other side.
Yeah. Mate, I ran a little, well, I started just when COVID hit, I thought, what are we going to do to, like, I thought, well, my mission's going to be a bit delayed because we can't get out and do things. And I did a post on social media and decided to do these builders breakfast things, and they went crazy for a couple of months. We got over 120 builders around Australia that all created their own little groups, and then the first Thursday of every month, they're all just organising to catch up. And so we still got a Facebook group and stuff, but it's a little bit quiet on there. My group in Brisbane's still pretty tight, but the one thing I've really gotten out of that is builders like we catch up most first Thursday every month. And we just sit around, we all grab a bite to eat, have a coffee or a juice, whatever you want to have. And people just talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the conversation tends to even not be about anything specific, but it's just, how you going, mate? Pat on the shoulder. Oh, hey, I'm having trouble with this. And like the whole group jumps in and gives feedback. And
that's brilliant.
It's so good to see. And you walk out of those meetings, like they generally go for 2 hours, and everyone's shaking hands, giving a pat on the back, like can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And that, I kind of, that community that gives the ability to, you know, it takes a village, that type of approach, right?
Yeah.
Is you know, you sit down and chat to a bunch of people and someone's going to have dealt with something that someone else has dealt with, right? Oh, yeah, I figured out how to do that. Yeah. Or, you know, we've got this theory at Hazardco that just about all the stuff that you can do on our platform, you know, would have been done by somebody, right? So, you know, a new builder jumps on and goes, oh, you know, I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that. Someone's already solved that problem, right? So it's about connecting it. And that's exactly what it sounds like you're doing, is giving the space for the connection to happen. And then, you know, people problem solve for each other.
Yeah, 100%. And the more people that we can all collaborate with and getting to a point and understanding that it's okay, like we're all in this together. But I just love hearing that you guys are focused on the small guys. Because so
absolutely.
many, I think, like I said before, I think a lot of the time, and look, so I think social media is horrible for it. Like so many small builders, like especially guys starting out, like they see all these fluffed up photos on Instagram and stuff, and they're thinking, oh man, that guy's just killing it. Like, oh, why can't I be like him? Why does everything go good for him? Why has he got that? But a lot of it is just perception.
Oh, it is, absolutely. I know some, you know, been in the game a while. I know I look young, but I'm not as young as I look. No, I've been in the game for a little while. But, you know, I know some builders that have got hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. And I tell you what, the books don't look anything like the Instagram followers do. You know, that's the thing. As with anything in life, you got to take the filter off it and view what's really happening. And at that point, the only thing you can really do is focus on your business, and on yourself, and on, you know, the 2 or 3 steps in front of you to make it better.
Yeah. So, mate, what's the future hold for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a few things coming up for both Hazardco and for me. So I'm keen to take more of an active role in the industry, particularly in the mental health space. So, you know, Hazardco is digital health and safety. And so, you know, we're as aware of, you know, mental health as we are of, you know, falling off a ladder. You know, they can be just as impactful as each other on someone's life. I'm really keen to continue to invest time in the businesses that we partner with and the people that I'm working with. So people like yourself, you know, the mental health stuff that Beck Bishop's doing down in Victoria, some of our business partners in the software industry around just educating and creating awareness within the industry. For Hazardco, the future's pretty big. So we're still growing incredibly rapidly. We've got a huge number of builders and tradies coming on board every month.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's really about how we start to add more value to the industry. So I'm excited to start to do more things in regional Australia. So we've done some of these events in Metro Melbourne. We've done some stuff in Sydney. But, the more we talk to people in regional Australia, they're even more isolated and not necessarily by choice. So I'm keen we've been doing some planning in the background around how we can get out to smaller towns. Red's been doing some stuff up in places like Rocky. We've got our guys doing stuff in places like Bathurst and Orange and Dubbo. And I think there's a real need to get out and support the industry in the regions. That's where the small builders, there's plenty of small builders in the city as well, but that's where all of the builders are small builders. And the ripple effect in a small community is magnified so much more. If you can improve a few businesses, that element of community and people chatting to each other just tends to happen more. I feel that about Queensland as well. I spent a couple of years up here. I was born in Queensland, actually. But I spent a couple of years up here working for a massive plasterboard manufacturing company. And I guess it's just they tend to chat a bit more. They're a little bit friendlier. And that's where you can have the greatest effect, right? That kind of knock-on effect of people talking to each other.
It's funny. Like I spent a little bit of time in the bush. They are very friendly and they love having a beer and things. But like when it does come back to builders and tradies, like they're still very, like he's going to undercut me, or I can't talk to him about something because he might get the job that I want to get. And like I think that's something else that our industry has become very bad at. Like you've got to create your own business, create your own journey and your own passion, and sell what you're excited about. Don't worry about the guy down the road that's trying to undercut you, or he's not using the right materials, or whatever it may be. Like just sell yourself.
I was just about to say that. Absolutely. At the end of the day, particularly in a small town, if you and I are building a house, it's probably the same carpenter that's putting the truss up, right? So it's the same thing. But, what am I going to do? Well, how am I going to add to that person's life? How am I going to make that journey easier for them, make it a better experience for them? Sell yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I think, it's what Hazardco is doing very, very well. Like it's especially, we only met with Fred for 10 minutes and my wife was sold on it. Like you, And he wasn't even doing the sales pitch. It was just so easy to see how simple it was. And we could, we spoke about it that night. We're like, man, that'll get so much time back on each job.
Yeah, 100%. 100% it will. And so that's something that, I spend a bunch of time thinking about is exactly that. The amount of times over the last, 3 or 4 years sitting in front of a builder or a group of builders. I remember I was in Swan Hill once. It hasn't been just recently that I've been out in the bush. But I was in Swan Hill once and I was doing just an awareness session and talking about health and safety and digital tools to a bunch of trades. So big builder in the bush. When I say big builder, 20 homes a year is big builder in the bush. But a bunch of trades. And, I was talking to them about doing a swims digitally on the app. And this guy puts his hand up. And he goes, so you mean if I do it on the app and submit it, then everyone's got access to it. And my guys on the site in Echuca can make a copy and, do a new one and sign it off. Yeah, absolutely. And he goes, oh, when can I start? And I went and chatted to him afterwards and he was dead set driving from Swan Hill to Echuca to give pieces of paper to guys on site, the roofing company. And I just thought, it's not his fault. There's not another way, or they didn't know there was another way. Yeah. And so, I'm on a mission to raise awareness, really, at the end of the day. And the amount of aha moments that builders have had when I've been talking to them over the last few years of, shit, it's that easy. Yeah. It's, that's all we need to do is get solutions, ours and others.
It's almost like they think, again, it's like, they're like, fuck, I didn't know that. Like they don't want to admit that they didn't know that. But, mate, that's what technology is. Like, and it is so simple. Like, it makes your life so simple. If like in the old days, if you forgot a set of drawings or you the boys were supposed to have a certain document on site and you've been delayed on another job or whatever. Like these days, it's just whatever, get in the Dropbox or get on Hazardco.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, look at your proposal or something. Like it's.
Yeah, we had a builder the other day in Newcastle, I think it was, who's having trouble. Trades are in short supply. It's hard to get them to turn up when you need them to turn up and do what you need them to do. But he was having trouble with trades turning up to site and saying, "Oh, geez, I forgot my plans. You know, the bathroom layout's changed or whatever. I forgot my plans. I'll come back. You know, I'll reschedule the job and come back." But on our QR code, you can upload whatever documents you want. So, you know, here's the new house plans. The builder's, he's done that and he's, no. Scan the QR code. The plans are on there. They're on your phone now. Great. Get back to work. You know, so it's just about making life easier.
That document storage, you've got document storage on there, haven't you? Where that's fantastic because, I'd imagine there's a lot of traders out there that are using those excuses. They've double booked or something and they're trying, what can I do to get out of today's work? And like that builder would have stumped him. Because
absolutely. What's he going to do now? He's either going to have to front up and admit he's got 2 jobs to go to.
Yeah, he can't run away.
Or he's going to stay there and do the work, right?
Yeah. So, mate, you sound like a very busy bloke. What do you do to get away from all that? What's your chill out, your mental health thing?
Yeah. So my mental health, three key things. One, I don't get to do very often. But my mental health is my partner, my fiance. I'm getting married in November.
Very good.
And she, most incredible person I've ever met, and is the best thing for my, obviously. Yeah. But the best thing for my mental health is just to be able to spend time with her. I can bounce everything off her. You know, there must be so many business owners around the country that need that and maybe don't even realise what they've got in terms of someone, a partner in life that they can talk to about their business.
I'll let you tell the other two and we'll come back to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So second is my kids. Spending time with my kids. I get them every second week, and I'm lucky enough with what I do. I am incredibly busy, and I travel a lot. But I get to kind of compartmentalize my travel into when I don't have my kids.
Yeah.
Which gives me the flexibility to spend more time with my kids than what they probably would have got if I was doing something else. And the third thing is activity. I'm a big outdoor kind of guy. I love the mountains. I love skiing.
Yeah.
Love hiking and all that sort of stuff. So, you try and fit it in when you can. But at the end of the day, if you're passionate about what you do, here's the cliche for you. You'll never work a day in your life.
But it is so true, but isn't it?
It is 100%. You know, my team even says to me, I think, so yesterday I was in Sydney for the day. My kids were amazed that I went to Sydney after I dropped them off at school and was back before they finished school. I think I was in Sydney for 2.5 hours. But my team's like, aren't you dead? Aren't you tired? Aren't you flat? I was like, well, not really, because look at everything we're doing. Look at what's happening. Look at the change that we're influencing. What point do you get tired of that? You know,
it is so true. I used to hate people saying that. Like years ago, I thought, that is bullshit. But when you do get to that point in your life, it is awesome. Like I don't wake up one day at all now thinking I just don't want to get out of bed.
No, and Mondays, right? Sunday night used to be list of everything running through your head, like what I've got to do tomorrow, and far out the weekend went fast. And, oftentimes on Sunday, I'm now finding myself thinking, oh yeah, and tomorrow I get to do this, and I'm going to do this week. And, I need to change this. And
you're big, obviously with how busy you are, you're big on scheduling.
I'm big on scheduling, really bad on admin. So I'm here preaching to the industry about how to make yourself better. But no, I've got an incredible person in our business that helps me keep on top of all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Alex makes sure that my calendar is as sorted as it can be. And she cops the rough end of the stick because I was in the car with Michael on the way up here this afternoon, and I need to be in Newcastle next week now to do some stuff with Reese Group. So on the phone to her and said, all right, so we need flights for Tuesday, back Wednesday, accommodation, no hire car, and I think having good people around you, if I can link this back to what we've been talking about, having good people around you, building a good team, people are the key to everything.
Mate, 100%. And that, again, it's so many small businesses, and it comes back to what we touched on before about the tradies on the tools all day, trying to fit things in of a night. So many tradies and builders don't understand their data and their numbers and their overheads and things. So they feel like they can't afford that extra person to help them out.
Yeah.
But like I get the question all the time, like, how do you do so much? And I tell people it's not me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm surrounded by good people. Like my supervisor's unbelievable. My team on site are unbelievable. My wife and my the accounts manager in the office are unbelievable. Like Amelia in Live Life Build and the other ladies we got in Live Life Build. Like you can't do everything yourself.
No.
And I think until you realise that, but I think a lot of people get held back by the dollar value of that. But you've got to understand your data, understand your numbers, and allow for that.
Understanding your numbers is key, right? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, anything on face value, you could be like, far out, broccoli's expensive this month.
Yeah.
But you've from a business point of view, you've got to understand what that number means, but what's the result of that number as well. And you clearly do, and the people that you work with do.
I love the conversation. Like it's just all tying together, mate. It'll be so good for the guys and girls listening because everything ties together. Like when you understand your data, like you realize you can charge more, but people get held back from charging more because they don't know how to sell themselves. So like believing in yourself, selling your passion, like that'll help you charge more so that you can pay more people and you can get more time back. Like
exactly,
it all ties together. So and just going back and like you're saying about your fiance before, like I was going to say, like our industry is. I'm a big believer now that if it wasn't for the partners behind the scenes,
absolutely
helping their tradie and builder husbands out of a night, doing the admin stuff, like so many women have their own careers, running the family, getting kids up, getting kids to school, picking them up, getting dinner, putting kids to bed, then trying to spend a couple of hours with their husbands, figure things out, sort some bills out, pay some bills. Like our industry would fall over if it wasn't
100% it would fall over. And it constantly amazes me. People that say they don't have time to do things, you got to look at two people. The wife of someone who owns their own business or owns it with them, and a mother.
Yeah.
Because they find time to do everything.
Yeah.
And then when they've run out of time, they find some more. I mean, those people should be running businesses, right?
Oh, mate,
they can invent time.
Yeah. Oh, mate, females, like I'm so glad that they're coming into our industry before.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad that you touched on before that our industry wouldn't keep evolving and innovating if it wasn't for them coming in.
100%.
Because blokes would just keep butting heads and not wanting to. Oh no, we're not doing that because I don't trust.
Oh no, I've never done that, so I won't do that.
Yeah, it's the females that are really driving the change.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, and it's terrific. I was got a chance to quickly chat to someone yesterday at a Bowens event. A girl called Steph, so Melbourne chippy chick, and what's amazing is that she's able to do what she does. She's just had a kid because her partner supports her. And that's, we need more of that in the industry to get more women into the industry as well.
Yeah.
Is having a partner to support you can be the foundation to being successful and building a business.
Yeah, 100%. Well, mate, it has been an absolute pleasure having a chat to you. I think we've given so much value to the people listening today. So thanks very much for coming on board. And look, guys and girls, for everyone out there listening, if you want a software that will change your business, get you some time back and sort out all your health and safety, then make sure you check the guys out at Hazardco. Yeah,
absolutely, mate. Thanks so much for having me on board. Great to chat to you. We've always got plenty to chat about, so happy to be here.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Duayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.